All right, Maureen, go ahead.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry if there's any background noise. I'm at a TSA conference here in Atlanta with our air department, and I was able to sneak out and join us for the meeting. The Wi-Fi here is not letting me connect, and so I'm unable to see who's on the call or see where we are with the presentation. And I apologize, people are walking past me right now with the lunch cart. But, you know, it's been about a month since we all got together. And the main thing that we wanted to do was continue to drive this conversation forward, provide an avenue and then the ability to keep the lines of communication open, to share experiences, and to continue the attention towards the end goal and the continuing goal, which is helping bring aid and awareness and assistance to the people in Ukraine and the surrounding countries there. And then I do wonder, Christy, would you be able to kind of give me a sense of who's on the call?
Yes.
Okay.
You have some newcomers as well as some longtime friends. Evelyn, good to see you back here. It's been a hot minute because you had some other commitments. So thanks for joining.
Evelyn's like writing books and
I know.
doing all sorts of things. So I feel privileged.
Hard to be so popular. Yeah.
I know.
Yes, and Spencer is back. We've got some of our team here, and then Lee is back with us. You heard Vladimir earlier, and then we have some newcomers as well. So if you are new and just joining us for the first time, we'd love for you to just say your name and who you're with and maybe why you showed up. It would be great to hear just a little bit about you so we know who's part of the conversation.
All right. Hello, good morning. My name is Vladimir. I present Maxton Shipping. We're a freight forwarder out of California. I'm currently in our Houston branch. And I received the invitation to participate in this meeting yesterday, since we opened the branch in Poland as well for our European operations. And I'm just wondering, what do you guys do and how we can be helpful?
Perfect. Welcome.
Wonderful. Thanks, Vlad, for joining. I saw the email where Enrique invited you, because there's also another Vladimir on the call too. So I saw the email. I'm like, wait, is he inviting Vladimir? I already asked Vlad to talk, but it's wonderful to have another Vladimir on the phone.
Thank you.
Yeah, our names are like, you know, just like Bob in America. You know?
All Vladimir's welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Who else? Let's see, Hannah, Anna, would you guys mind speaking up? No pressure if you don't want to. Okay. Let's see. All right, did I miss anybody else that's new for the first time? All right, and one thing we did want to do is, we know some of you have been very active in and around Ukraine and have some stories to share about what's going on with your work. Vlad, I know you do. Lee, I know you do. So if you guys want to share a little bit more about your what's going on and the aid you've been working on and what's happening and what you're hearing, then we'd love to hear that.
Okay, you guys want me to go first, or who wants to go first?
Go for it.
Okay, well, my name is Vladimir. A lot of you guys, you know, some of you guys know me, some of you don't. I'm in Venice, Florida, and I've actually been introduced to this group a while ago, and we've been working on jointly with getting 4 containers, you know, just with this group alone over to Ukraine, and that included you know, medical supplies, clothing, and just a bunch of, you know, donated products that went over there. The containers have been received. 2 of them went to Chernivtsi, Ukraine, and they're being distributed there throughout like local hospitals. And then 2 of them went to Vinnytsia. The city there actually gave us a small warehouse to use while the aid is being distributed. And they've been very helpful. So we have actually a gentleman that flew over there He's down there currently, but because the internet is not in very good shape right now, he couldn't be on the call. But next time, I will make, some, like a collection of videos and stuff, how things were actually being distributed. So something that you guys can look at and feel that you guys were a part of it. In addition to that, obviously we've had a lot of gratitude, a lot of, from that area. And obviously we see things are escalating. There's, infrastructure damage and, buildings being damaged. And I just think, we just can't just stop and not do anything about it. I understand we have our own problems here right now with the recession, with everything, we have our own issues, but our issues are very small compared to what's happening there. So I actually was thinking that, maybe I should pause and just kind of, concentrate on my business and other things and not spend so much time doing this. But then when you sit there and you ponder, you realize that, if good men sit and do nothing, or they just don't, go into overdrive, nothing will get done. And I encourage all of you, if you guys, whatever your capabilities are, help as much as you can. We just had a hospital here in Venice, Florida, that's they're shutting down because it's an old building and they found asbestos in the building. We just picked up a full truckload, 53-footer of equipment and hospital supplies from this facility, and they're telling us they're going to give us one more truckload of hospital supplies, including equipment. So I would ask if anybody on this call, can, I think we can consolidate that into one container. If anybody in this call can help out with the costs, and stuff to get that stuff over there to hospitals, over to Ukraine, we would greatly appreciate it. And this stuff is, it came from a hospital, so the expiration dates, you don't have to worry about, the stuff is fresh. They didn't think they were going to shut down. It's not like they just all of a sudden we were planning on it. I mean, this was kind of a abrupt thing, and I'm trying to take as much stuff that's needed from the hospital itself so we can send it over there. I will actually send some pictures to Marion at the Vector, and then if you guys need to look at some of those, what we got, welcome to see. That's pretty much kind of sums it up, so I don't take a lot of time. There's a lot of details that I can share, but I don't want to be talking for an hour to everybody, just because maybe other people want to share some stuff.
Thanks. And as always, if anyone wants to put their contact information in the chat for everyone to see, or a message in there, anything like that, then you can always certainly do that. Evelyn, you had your hand up.
I did. It made me think of the hospital association or another governing board. If there is a similar situation like Vladimir mentioned, then it might escalate contributions.
Well, this is just, it worked out great because this hospital is literally like 4 miles from our facility.
And I'm sure there are others in the same situation, maybe not as close to you, but we could have.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. We actually, I think it was last week, had a big, I think it was level 1 trauma care. I'm sorry, I don't know my acronyms and medical terms, but that just closed here in downtown Atlanta as well. So yeah, when you said that, I thought, oh, I wonder what happened to all that stuff. So I'll see if I can track down somebody connected to that that might have some of that information for us here in Atlanta as well. And Maureen, we can also reach out and see if Serve is willing to partner with Vlad on this as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff in there. I mean, a lot of sterile stuff. I mean, it's and I've talked to met the people down there that had the hospital, and they're very open. And I said, if we can get equipment, they said that's going to be the next batch. You're going to get a lot of equipment like ultrasound machines and all, the stuff that hospitals need.
Right.
Yeah, and Vlad, I started to talk earlier, but I was on mute. But just you kind of coming and sharing kind of what you've seen, the experiences with us, and with getting the goods kind of to the consignees on the other side and what they're experiencing, kind of brings things full circle and makes this more of a real thing rather than just something where shipments we're talking about very objectively in like a monthly call, which is why, I wanted you to come and talk. And then I know that Lee was also going to share some things with his team, because he also has a ton of pictures that I find on Facebook and I share with our team as well. So we just appreciate you guys bringing like the human aspect to it, because we at Vector don't have that connection at the destination in order to bring those people to the table to talk and to see the impact that we're all having an effect on.
Yeah, and that's the thing, everybody who chips in, who actually, and you might think that your part is, has no value or something. There's no such thing. Everybody's a little part that they, tap into this, their energy, and it does matter. It does matter. And, sometimes it looks like, nothing's happening, but it's not true. I mean, like for us, for example, it took, it looked like, lifetime it took for those containers to get there, but it did get there. And we have to understand it's a war zone. It's not it's not going from Florida to New York. I mean, it's going, all over to the other side of the planet. And it's you got a lot of people, a lot of companies involved, a lot of human errors can happen, but it got there. So that was a real blessing. And especially once it gets there and then you start seeing the joy and you start seeing all that in people and the local population, then all the headaches and all the kind of the emotional maybe stresses and everything, you forget it. You forget it because you're now you see the fruits of your labor. So, I would really encourage you guys to, every one of you has a talent, use your talent for good. And I mean, we got hit by a hurricane, and I talked to Mary and I was shared with her on a private call. And I said, we got really hammered here. And I said, I don't know what I should do. And she said, well, maybe it's time for you to just slow down and stuff and just, take a pause. And I thought about what she said, but then, when the hospital calls says, hey, you want to take this, and, for me to reject it and say, no, I won't. I think it's a horrible thing to do.
Yeah. And the other thing we know, and I apologize that I don't remember the statistics off the top of my head, but I was watching a fundraising workshop a few weeks ago, and they were talking about America is particularly good at crisis giving. So of course, when Ukraine started, we saw lots of, flood of impact and donations going to that. And then, as we all know, we've had hurricanes, we've had, just a whole litany of things all over the globe, including here in the United States. And so people direct their funding there and, things like that. So, and it's natural, and that's, not a problem or anything else, but we're all showing up here because we know that there's some things still going on in Ukraine and we want to support, and what happens over there is impacting us all around the globe as well. So, so it's good for us to just keep that in mind, but thanks. All right.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, Lee? Tell us. Oh, you're muted, or are you? Nope, you're not muted, but I keep hearing. No.
Can you hear us?
He's checking his.
Oh, got it. Okay. Is he on video too, or?
No,
Yes.
he's on video.
But I can't hear him.
Okay.
His microphone's maybe off.
Oh,
No, he's not
yeah.
muted. It looks like he's trying to speak,
Yeah.
but
Do like a wave. We can't hear you, Lee.
he went away. He's going to try to reconnect, I think.
Yeah, if you need to jump out and jump back in.
Hey, while we're waiting, Vladimir, where in California are you?
San Francisco, Walnut Creek.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah. We also do interstate transportation. We have a sister company, but based in Rockland, California, specialized in pharmaceutical cargo. And Maxton Shipping is a freight forwarder. We move project cargo and regular general goods by air and sea.
Nice.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we didn't move anything to Ukraine yet. We just started our branch in Poland in March. Once everything started, I flew there, and I've been relocating my remote team who was based in Belarus in the past. I'm originally from Belarus.
Okay.
Huh.
And yeah, so big times coming to the region anyways.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially what we're seeing in Belarus, that the president there he's like the wind. No matter, he starts blowing one way, he starts acting one way. Starts blowing the other way, he starts acting the other way. But he's got very unpredictable.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Lee, I
Is
see you
Lee
now.
hanging up or is he?
You just
Okay.
pop back in.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you
Yes,
hear me now?
two
Can you
thumbs up.
hear
Perfect.
me?
Yes,
Yes.
we
Oh,
can hear
good.
you.
I'll audition for the Verizon. I will audition then for the Verizon commercial. You can hear me. This is good. Yeah, thank you for the invite. Yes, it's been a very good 6 months. When I started this, I actually had been doing containers before with partner ministries. I still have several partners I work with to help gather food, clothing, medical supply, firefighting equipment. But we've been able to see one container a month for the last 6 months. And we just finished our 6th container last Thursday. We've had 3 which have arrived. We sent them to 2 we've sent to Lviv, 2 we sent to Kotspinski, which is outside of Kiev, 1 which we sent to Trotskovets, and the other we sent to Uman, which is the most recent one, which is there. And we have a good group of volunteers who come together each week. We have been supplied with really an unending supply of medical equipment from a local organization called Matter 360. And they deliver it. We have volunteers coming in, we sort it, we repackage it, we label it. We've had 2 containers of medical supply, which has arrived in Ukraine. It has been distributed to several hospitals, and we're starting to get feedback on those kinds of how they've responded to it, and it's been very, very positive, which has been there. So really grateful for that. This is some pictures of my location and the last container being sent out on Facebook. So I feel highly blessed. Doing a sense of growing pains. As I look ahead, I've got probably enough cash reserve to send 2 more, and then we're going to be, we're just trusting that God's going to bring it in. I feel like this is what I've been called to do at this point. And I have a lot of support from the community. We actually just finished doing a countywide clothing drive. And so we were able to, with partners from all sorts of areas, send between 2 containers, over half of it was clothing that's been sent. So it's moving along well. Very encouraged, very encouraged.
And what are your,
And we have,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, somebody started to ask a question.
I go ahead, but I also was just curious what, because you've been shipping all kinds of things. I was just curious if you're getting requests for specific types of things to send over, what you're hearing from your partners over there.
Yeah, most recent request was blankets, warm winter clothing, because obviously with natural gas crisis, and now with, I heard this morning that 1,100 cities in Ukraine are without electricity, and it's a cold weather climate, so the warm weather clothing is significant. Then probably the next request is for the medical supplies, which is there. The third request is for food. We partner with an organization called Life Rice, and we just had a countywide gathering last Sunday, in which we packed, I think, 58,000 meals. That's now sitting in my facility, ready to be shipped. And probably down the list is that a lot of the infrastructure was damaged, and I have access to fire protection equipment. And so we've sent, I think, 300 sets so far, and I have another 200 sets ready to go on a future shipment.
Wow, okay.
So
Terrific.
that's
Lee, we love
yeah,
the
it's
pictures that you
great.
send
Going beyond my
and
wildest
share with
dreams.
everyone.
Yeah. Incredible. Thank you so much. Yeah, Maureen is like, Lisa has more pictures, send them. So she sends them around. So yeah, thank you for documenting all that and showing the good that you're up to. And we sent it to your containers went through our shipping partner, Hapag Lloyd. And so I sent them the photos and they were delighted to see them and knowing that they're able to help and everything as well. So terrific work and it's awesome.
Yeah. Obviously long-term for sustainability, we need additional funding partners to cover up, cover the cost, which is there, but so far so good.
Mhm.
I know that I've got at least 2 more ready to be funded for this year, and I think I have commitments from one resource for clothing to cover the cost for at least a few next year. So we're looking long-term.
That's fantastic. Really wonderful. Thank you for that. Yeah, we also had, if anyone knows, we had a contact from UNHCR, so the government refugee organization, looking for a very specific type of space heaters and things. So we're reaching out to a couple people about those, but we'll open that up for crowdsourcing as well. And I have Maureen has all of those specs for the exact type that they're looking for. As well. So if anybody has any contacts for that, we've mentioned in the emails and previously we have contacts for protective body armor, even things like ambulances. And so, yeah, would encourage some more crowdsourcing of resources as well.
Steve, for the heaters, maybe it's worth us putting that in the recap that we do after the call,
Yeah.
the specific piece, because I think it'll definitely get to more people's inboxes and someone can forward it on to their contact if they know someone. But yeah, overall, I mean, we're right that the weather is changing over there, so the needs are constantly changing, and the situation on the ground there is very sad to commute to turn on the news every morning. It's I don't think any of us thought we were really going to be talking about this at this level of intensity and fighting, and the number of people that it's affected. I think the last was like over 4 million, I believe. I don't know if anyone has a better number that have fled and tried to resettle elsewhere, which is just a staggering amount of people. That I think I don't know what slide you have up, but we have shipped over 529,000 pounds of supplies. And so I think that's a huge accomplishment for a small company like us. But it's really only been able to happen because of, the people on this call that have brought supplies, brought resources, found people that we can connect with it in Ukraine and Poland and areas to actually distribute it. So we appreciate that. The other thing I did want to talk about, and again, I'm sorry if I'm jumping around, but because I can't see who's on the call and the body language and things, it's tough to kind of gauge what I might be missing without the visual. But we did, in order to continue sending aid, which we know has slowed down a bit since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, we wanted to push our kind of letter writing initiative a little bit forward. On the last call, we talked about how we had shipped a box of letters over to be distributed to some soldiers on the front line and some churches and schools. And we are trying to deploy that on a larger scale. So within the company, a bunch of us have gone out to, our children's schools and churches and said, would you be willing to engage in a letter writing campaign, with your students or with the church groups and other organizations that our team members are a part of. And we're going to be collecting those letters on a semi-monthly basis at our office. And then we're going to consolidate them and we're going to ship them to some contacts that we have in Ukraine with churches and schools and other organizations to distribute them to the community there. So we would love if, and there is a slide, I'm not sure if Christy has it up, but we would love for anyone on the call to participate, whether it be in your own church or your own children's school, or I don't know if Spencer's on the call.
He had to
A
dash.
friend that we've made. He is on the call.
He had to leave.
Oh, got it. Okay, but he was on this. He's been on our call a couple times. He hasn't shipped anything to Ukraine. He's just been interested in what we've been doing, and he learned about our letter writing campaign. And he has a friend who's a teacher that is having one of their high school classes work on it and get some letters to us. So it doesn't have to be a long pen pal letter or anything. I don't know if Christy, you have any of the pictures up, but
Yeah,
some
I
of them
just
were, kindergarten or first graders that were making drawings. So I kind of went to my kids' school and I asked the principal, and then I asked my children's teacher specifically if they'd be willing to participate. And I framed it as far as letter writing is a skill that they can learn, but also it gives them an opportunity to teach them something about current events. But there's a way to put, I was like, I'm not asking for money and I'm not asking you to collect goods or anything. This is a nice thing that we can do that can, further our commitment to bringing attention and awareness and just kindness and getting it over there. So the info is on the slide there, but you can always email us. I have a template that I send out to my kids' school if anyone wants to use it. Again, it's free. If you could just get the letters to us, then that would be great. And if you're outside of the US, we can find a way to consolidate them with the ones that we're collecting in our office.
Yeah, some of our, we have 2 offices, as some of you may know, in Mexico. And so we can collect letter theirs. They're working on their kids' schools, getting drawings and writings and things like that. So we can also have letters sent there if you know of somebody in Mexico. And then I'm sure we can figure out some other international locations as well. We do have team members around the globe, but obviously we don't want to publish home addresses. So we can be creative and find some other spots as well. But yeah, if you're in the US, then sending them to us at our Atlanta address on the screen, and you'll receive this as part of the presentation via email after our call as well. Then we're certainly collecting those, and yeah, let's teach kids what letters are. Hey, this is a written text, guys. So
Right.
yeah, and then I like the way Maureen used it as like an exercise in, spelling, and can it's not something additional that you have to have for kids to do because teachers are overwhelmed as well, but it can be part of a lesson. And then of course, kids are seeing information and news about Vector or news about Ukraine and wherever they're looking on their phones or screens or, passing by TVs and things like that. And so this is a way for them to get involved and to do something. And we were talking a couple of weeks ago, just as much as, part of everybody pretty much expected this war to be over very quickly. Ukraine was outmanned and outgunned, and it's been definitely a war of hearts and minds and morale as much as anything else. And so this helps keep up morale too. So yeah, so we have to gather.
Yeah, I think it's just a different way that we can contribute to the awareness and kind of keep the eyes and interest and focus in the US here in just a different way, and also the different population, because it's mainly focused towards the letter writing is mainly from the children. So again, I know that if you have anyone on the call that has kids, they come home and they want you to raise money so their kids, the class can get a pizza party for buying more, popcorn or holiday wrap or things like that. And I think this is different when you ask the teachers to do something that has an academic focus. However they want to spend it, I think it's something valuable that we can continue to contribute in a different way.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But those were the kind of the main things that Christy and I wanted to make sure we addressed today, in terms of we wanted to have some real life testimonials from our customers and partners that have been part of this process for the past couple months and go over our letter writing campaign, and also just open it up if there's anything that anybody wanted to ask or contribute. I think for those of you who have been on the calls prior to today's call, you know, this is not meant for just Christy and I to lead. We want this to be collaborative. So if there's anything else anybody wants to say, we would love to hear feedback or ideas for improvement or suggestion.
Yeah.
Or
Vicky,
Yeah.
you
Jump
look
in
like-
for just a minute.
Yep, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so
you look like
I've
you
just
were
been
ready.
I've just been on one of these calls. I'm Vicky Bachman and I'm with Matter. And Lee, thank you so much for what you're doing. So I know you're working with Katie Johnson here at Matter and have received the medical
He's been so
supplies.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kate's been amazing.
Yes, it is. So just want to piggyback on what Lee shared, that we have been delivering mixed medical supply, pallets of mixed medical supplies to Lee that his volunteers are sorting, and then finding that they're using a pretty high percentage, probably 70–75% of what's in those pallets. Our recipient partners over this past year have been used to ship over to Ukraine. So we have so far shipped about 400,000 pounds of medical supplies over there. And I would like to open up, I'm not sure who all the people are on the call, but our availability of those pallets of mixed medical supplies sort of ebbs and flows. And right now we have a supply to give. So if there's anyone on this call who might be interested in talking with me offline about what we have to give, we have probably 100 pallets right now. So several truckloads of things that we would be able to donate for contribution to this effort. So if there's anyone on the call that might be interested, or if anybody knows another organization that might be interested in receiving these things, we can jump on a call and I can share more.
Perfect. Thanks. The Matter team has jumped in since day one to be a part of it. So thank you. Your
Thank
team.
you so much. Yes. And
Lee,
we can definitely reach out to some of the people that aren't on the call as well, that we've worked with before, who might also be in need of it. And then that we can help facilitate that as well.
That would be great. Do you want me to put my email in the chat?
sure, yes. And I just put your website in there as well.
Okay, great.
Lee, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, the percentage of the things which we're able to send on is probably closer to 98%.
Oh,
There are
Wow.
occasionally we hit things which are very technical or, specific equipment, designated things which we concur are probably not going to be the case, but for the most part, we have very, very little that is discarded. I would say it's probably close to 98% that we're able to repackage, we recategorize. We do have some trained medical personnel who come in to supervise all of this. We have a team of nurses who they're the first ones who see, they're the first ones who examine, they are the quality control. And then from there, we subdivide into 15 different categories and make sure things are very clearly labeled in English, Ukrainian, and Russian. And so we've been extraordinarily pleased with the high quality of things that we've received through Matter. So Matter has been a marvelous partner to work with on this. So thank you.
And Vicky, you will have that recorded testimonial to use at your pleasure.
thank you, Lee.
Anybody else that hasn't been able to speak or has waited to introduce themselves or had any other thoughts during the conversation? All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah, we won't keep you longer than we need to. Our next, let's see, Maureen, what did we say our next date was?
I think I put on the last slide, I think it's the 15th.
I think it's the 15th.
It's
Yeah.
the Tuesday. Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to make sure it was not on election day, November 8th. So it is the following week, November 15th. So we'll send out that registration information and Yeah, like we've put in the emails, if you know just one person who's mildly interested but wants to hear what's going on, then as we all know who showed up here and the people that are able to watch the replays later, every person counts. As Vlad said earlier, no effort is too small. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just make an introduction to somebody else who has resources or time or something else that is in need. So yeah, we encourage everybody to continue joining in and make sure that even when this leaves the news cycle, that there's still help being shipped and received, especially as we've discussed with winter coming. So thank you everyone for your time and for everything you're doing and for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Let us know if we can be of any help. It's ukraine@vectorgl.com and you'll get the follow-up email with all of that information as well. But have a great day. Thanks for all you're doing.
A pleasure.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Enjoy your
Take
week.
care.
Thank you.
Most meaningful.